rewards by just delegating your own SAF to someone else's validator. For that process, there is no setup required. You don't have to bother about the runtime responsibility. But if you would want to run a full infrastructure, build reputation, and also earn more um, um, rewards, including validators, they tend to earn um, more rewards as being a pure delegator when you are a validator yourself. So this is just some of the things that you will get if you are a validator. And you could be a validator, but why on Safrochain? One of the main reasons is because Safrochain is newer and it is focused on um, Africa. So it's an African focused blockchain project. And this is like very, very early and the best time to want to be a validator on the blockchain, on the Safrochain. And the mainnet is freshly live. So this is why should be Safrochain. Yeah. So while building the validator, we're going to be hearing some terms more frequently. We're going to be hearing the term node. So a node is simply a computer running on Safrochain software. It is keeping its own copy of the shared notebook, that's the blockchain, and talking to others. So the node is just there and it's talking to other nodes to stay in sync. So when you are running, when you hear running a node, that's running a validator, and that means that you are keeping the same record as someone else in Kenya. I'm currently in Nigeria. You are keeping the same record as someone else in Kenya and keeping the node in sync. And at the same time, you are also strengthening the network. So the term validator is a special kind of node that allows to check and approve new transactions in exchange for staking tokens, that's staking SAF tokens as a kind of good behavior deposit. So each time that a new transaction is being approved, a certain amount of SAF token is being distributed to all validators. So we also have terms like the full node, the sync, the genesis file, the pair. And one important term here is the pairing, is the keyring. So this keyring is your digital identity and signature on the network. And why it's important is because whosoever holds this key can move funds and sign transactions as you. So it's very important that you keep your keyring and your key very safe. It's like a combination of your bank login details and your legal signature. Yeah. So there are other terms here. And another term is the moniker. The moniker is a public name of your validator. It is a name that someone sees when they look at your validator on the Safrochain Explorer. Yeah. Yep. So and also this is a very important step before you get into wanting to become a validator. There are certain requirements that should be met in terms of your infrastructure. To set up a validator, you will going to need to install the Safrochain ID CLI on your machine and also install the Go SDK. So you're going to be installing Go, and also Safrochain is being built on the Cosmos SDK, and specifically it requires Go 1.20 plus. So there are certain commands. These commands you're going to run on your PC to install Go to get going. Yeah. So all right. Let me check if there's any other thing that we should cover here before we get to the terminal. Okay. Yes, and this part is for some of us here that have participated in the validator process for testnet. As this is the mainnet, some things are going to be changing. Things like the chain ID. The chain ID for Safrochain testnet, but this is the one for the mainnet. Similarly, uh, the Genesis source, the RPC endpoints, the fonts, and also the Explorer. So these are some of the other things that for people that are going to be migrating from the testnet to the mainnet. Okay. Yeah. And as I said earlier, I am going to be sharing this with the community after the end of this session. It's a complete handbook on how you can go from scratch to finish, setting up your own validator. Yeah. So now I'm going to be moving to the terminal. And if anyone has any question for me, please do well to add in the chat section so that you can answer your questions. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, now we are live in the terminal. Hope everyone can see. So this is we're going to be setting up the Safrochain validator from scratch. So now the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I want to initialize my node. And this is the first process of which you are going to be setting your moniker. Remember, I said the moniker is the name that someone is going to be seeing on the Safrochain mainnet explorer when they load your node. So if look this command Safrochain the init some validator. This is my own moniker here. This is, and when we are done publishing our node, this is what you will see on the Explorer, some validator, and then this command, and I'm initializing it on this directory on my machine. So before I proceed, I think it would be nice for me to mention the minimum requirement to be able to set up a node infrastructure. The requirement is at least 4 cores and 80 gigabyte of memory. That's like the minimum. So yeah. So if I run this command now, it has just initialized my node. There's some informations here, things like my node ID, the chain ID. You can see it is Safrochain, the mainnet one. If it was testnet, you will see a dash, then testnet here. So other informations from the initialization of my node. Then the next thing I want to do is that Before I proceed to even create, I want to on another
Sorry
terminal.
to bother you.
Okay,
Can you zoom a bit your screen?
okay, okay.
Thank you.
Is it better now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay. So the next thing I want to do now is to be in sync with what the blockchain is. The blockchain is currently signing on at the moment. Why this is important is because for you to join the other nodes, you need to be in sync with them so that you can pick up from the current block and then carry on from there and keep signing. So the first thing, this command will fetch me all the blocks that have been signed from Genesis. That's from the first block. And when I run this, it is going to save that particular block on my machine in this file called genesis.json. So the next thing I want to do is I want to check for the current block height that is being worked on right now. And currently the chain is handling block 460613. So what I need to do with this is that I need to now uh, use this to get hold of the block hash so that I can be able to use it to set up my own state sync. So now I just need to um, okay, yeah. Now I have added the block height here. This is it, as you see here, 46016 and 316. And my goal is to get the block hash. So now I have the block hash for this block being currently signed. And one important thing I want to do now is I want to now start preparing my config.toml file. That's the file that I'm going to be using to set up my node. So the first thing I'm going to do is I would need to enable on my toml file that I want to sync. Like I want to sync with the blockchain. It's currently reading false, so we have to first enter this command. This command, if you see here, let me take my cursor to that particular place. You'll see here it says true. So when I run this, it has just set my config toml file to sync as true. So similarly, I'm going to be running another command, just preparing them here so that I can explain bit by bit what I am writing in real time. Yeah, so this second command that I am pasting now, I'm going to be using this one to set my trust height. So my trust height here, as you can see, I have just set it to the same block that we discovered, 46316. And then there's a third command that will help us set the hash we just found. Remember the process from beginning was we initialize our validator. Then the next thing we did was we then went ahead to want to be in sync with the blockchain, and then we fetched from the blockchain the current block, and then we got the hash, and now we are setting up our config to toml file. I'm just giving a yeah. So we just set the hash. The next thing we want to do is we want to set a trust period. This trust period is the hash of that block used to cryptographically verify the snapshot data. And we need to make sure that it actually matches the real chain at the height and it has not been tampered with. So we set the first period, and the fifth command is going to be setting up the RPC server. And as you can see, the RPC server is saying rpc.safrochain.network. So I've just said that. Then the last one is going to be the persistent pair. The meaning of this persistent pair is the actual P2P address. That's the combination of the node ID, the IP, and also the port, like that your node will connect to directly to download snapshot chunks and stay connected afterwards. That's after we have connected. So let's go ahead now and add that. So now let's set the API server and the pair. Yeah, very important step. Yeah. Now the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to be starting my node. So I'm going to be sharing another terminal so that I show you how to start your node on your machine. Okay. Okay. We're back here, and this is the command to start your node. And if you can record that we have been using this folder, Safrochain mainnet demo. If you are setting up yours during the initialization, it's going to be something different. It could be Safrochain mainnet SAM or anything you want to use. So if I run this now, we can see that the node is getting started. And why this is running, there's something that we really need to do is we need to let me share this command again. I'm going to be sharing this and sharing my other terminal. We need to, there's a particular type of command that we need to run. What that command is for is to tell us when we are now finally in sync with the blockchain. So to do that, we need to run this command. And currently, if it says true, it means that it is still trying to catch up. But we need to wait for it to turn to false. When it says false, it means it has finally caught up with the blockchain. So we need to keep trying. Still true. And there is something I need to also share. It might be a challenge sometimes, like when you try to start this node, at times it might give you this error in getting the verification all set up. So there's a command, tendermint command, that when you run it, it will reset and allow that we are able to catch up with the blockchain much more faster. This has also been added in the handbook. So we are still waiting for our chain to get in sync here. Still waiting. Just wait for it to bit more time. Hopefully it's fine soon.
Sam, are you talking? I think we can't hear you.
Yeah, actually, I am waiting for the blocking to sync.
All right.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Just wait a few seconds. No, blocking is very busy. Just trying to give it a little more time before I take the next step. Let's try tournament again. Fully response now. So Yeah, 8 Pro.
Yeah, I think it might take some time. You need to compare the current block with the block we are on right now on the blockchain. So we need to see the difference if because it might take even 5 to 10 minutes depending on how the system is running.
Yeah. I'm trying to check on the minutes one I have if I can be able to um
What what's our current block? Can you have a look at it?
let me check that quickly. We're currently on block 46643.
4643.
Yeah, check this. Nice. Okay. I think we are back up. Okay. I think we should be approaching to sync very soon.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to,
So we need to be patient. But it might take some minutes.
yeah. So I should show this terminal so that you guys can see while the chain is trying to get in sync. You could either write a script or you could use this command to check how far the chain has gone in trying to be in sync with the blockchain. So we know that it's on 460 676 at the moment, but ours is on 456. So the moment we get to the exact same block, it means that we are now in sync with the chain. One good way to bypass this process is with the help of a small bash script. So it just alerts you on when the sync is complete. That's when you're setting up the validation process. So you just need to wait for a little more time. We're getting closer right now. Okay. Now our block as our node has completely caught up with the blockchain, and now you can see it is now saying false. This was a milestone actually. Yeah. So after we have made sure that we are now in sync with the chain, we can now proceed to the next step. The next step will be us now creating our operation keys. Yeah. So to create your operation key, let me make sure that this is sync. I need to try to check the okay. Now we have this process run. I'm trying to get hold of the process of which our node is running on our machine. Okay. So the next step will be to prepare your Safrochain wallet. I prepared mine. The reason I skipped this step was because there. Okay, let me just share the command that's going to be used to generate a wallet if you don't have one. So generate a wallet that you can use for your mainnet. Okay, let me just go with this. So with this command, you'll be able to set up your Safrochain wallet and you'll be given a mnemonic phrase. And this is very important information because how this setting of validator works is that you want to make sure to keep your keys out of your server so that even if there is an attack on your validator node, you are safe because your key is with you and you can use it to save your funds or recover your node. So I don't need to run this command because I already have my Safrochain mainnet wallet that I want to use. So the next step now will be to create our directory for which we're going to be setting up the node to start running. And for this, we're going to be using one thing that we see here, which is the consensus key. This consensus key is what is going to be used to set up the validator. So I have a command here, and what this command does is that it writes to this validator.json folder. You could name it something like let's say some validator. And what I'm writing here is I'm going to be writing my public key, the amount of SAF I want to stake, and we're using 6 decimal place, so this is equivalent to 10 SAF. 10 SAF mainnet funds, not testnet. And this is the moniker we set during initialization. And then for other things like the identity, website, security, these things are to be filled when you are setting up. And one way to set up your identity is you could use something like Keybase to set up your identity, and you get your key and you paste it in here. Let me quickly show on how you can do that. Let me share. So this is Keybase, and this will be the identity. You can make a free account on Keybase, and you just join Keybase, input your email and your username and set a password. And when you are done with that, you've given a key, and that key will represent your identity. And you can also add your website, your security mail, and also some other details that you want to add. And there is another really vital information here again on setting up this validator of ours. If you see here, there's some informations here like the commission rate, max rate, max change rate, and also main self delegation. I'm going to be explaining what they mean one after the other. So for the commission rate is how much of the transaction you are going to be taking in terms of the signing that occurred. Let's say, for example, this one, my current fee is 0.05. That means 5%. This means that for every 1,000 SAF that someone stakes, I'm going to be earning about 100 SAF in reward. No, I think that's wrong. Let me read again. That's a big math. Okay, so what this means is that if someone stakes 1,000 SAF and the person stakes it with our own validator, what it means is that it's going to be earning about 100 SAF, and I keep 5 SAF out of it, and they get the rest. So if anybody comes later that is not owner of validator, and any one of us here is able to set up a validator, and the person comes and say, hey, I want to stake on your validator some SAF so I can earn reward, if the person stakes 1,000 SAF and the chain rewards us with 100 SAF, I keep 5 SAF of that money that he has gained as reward. And the commission rate is like the absolute ceiling for my own validator. It's like a permanent promise, like no matter what, and that I cannot raise my commission above 20% for this validator. So it means that if I set my commission rate to be 20%, I cannot raise it above that, and my range will be from 0.05 to 0.2. So it is set once at creation, and you cannot alter or increase it later. So another one is the commission max change rates. This is like the speed limit for fee increase. I can be able to increase my commission rate by at most 1%. That's per day. So even though my ceiling is 20%, I can't jump from 5% to 20%. That's over that range. It will take me roughly about that's 15 days. Yeah, 15 days to max increase my range. So maybe on day one I set my commission rate to be 0.05. It means for me to be able to set it to reach 20%, I have to wait to do it every day for 15 days. That's just the meaning of that. And one thing is that the lower your commission rate, the much more favored you will be on the chain. And this last value here, the minimum minimum self delegation, is like the minimum amount of my own stake that I commit to always keep in the validator. So in my own here, it's more of a technical flaw. Let me see. Here I set to 1 USAF. So USAF is like 1 million USAF is equals to 1 SAF. That's the calculation. So in terms of what I'm putting in, I could increase into, let's say, to 5. And what this means is that I am okay. So if I go ahead to run this folder is very important because the next command is going to be running on top of this to create the validator. So you can see it is in our folder. I think I need that to be now I need to send some SAF to my node so that I can be able to use the create validator command. That's the second to the last command for us to completely create a validator. Let me get the last command. Let me send some SAF tokens. Let me check if I have SAF in here. I have just about 0.95 SAF, meaning that I need to have at least 5 to 6 SAF so that I can be able to successfully create this validator, because we set 5 SAF as our minimum validator stake. So I'm going to be sending some SAF from my main balance. Okay. Let me check to know when it has landed. Yeah, nice. So I've just added about 15 SAF tokens. Let me confirm. Once again, 'kay, so this point now, I have 5 SAF in. So now this last command is what is going to be broadcasting our validator to the blockchain, creating an intention to become a validator. This is the command here, create validator, and we are using the file that we have been writing to, and the file contains things like our public key, the amount of user, then our Monica, that's our public validator name, our identity we created on Keybase, and I could add a website here. Just then this one will be for an email, then details like any description that I may have. Oh, that's a big error. So let's check for why having this. So that's where to convert address field. Then validator. Let me confirm this first before I run validator. Let's have it in a straight line. That was my lint rejecting. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Let's wait for some minutes. Wait to complete. And this is an irreversible step because this is right into the blockchain. So I can query. Let's see if it is live. Let's see. The signature. Let me check on the Explorer. We have okay. Now we have great news that our Validator is now live. Let me share my screen.
Sorry, Sam. April is suggesting you can explain how you fixed the error that happened, so people can maybe know how to fix on their side.
Okay, you mean the one where we are trying to sync the blockchain, right?
Yes, it's that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when that happened, our node was finding it hard to sync with the blockchain because of the current block we were trying to get was not responding. So there's a tendermint command that I added. Let me find that command quickly. What will solve it is just finding the nearest block that could help us to get to the blockchain much more faster. I will share that. I will do some added updates in the handbook before I share. So in case of it's even good it's happening here so that we could also have this new command in there. Let me just get it from the handbook directly. Get that quickly. Yeah. So this is the command here. This is the first one. What this command does is to while keeping our address book to reset to reset the node that we're currently working on, to try to reset its syncing attempt so that it can like do like just like doing a reboot of your computer so that it can be able to resync and reset and try to connect afresh. Yeah. So good news for us, our validator is now live on chain to start getting rewards. So you can see it's trying to catch up. It has already gotten about 2 active, and this is the key identity we got from Keybase. and also the starting height at which I joined, started signing from, and my commission, which was set at 5%, my max rate, and then the max change I can have. This is the commission max change. Let me quickly do that so you can see my outstanding rewards and the rewards I've earned since I joined. So you can see that it is now recovering and increasing. It means that I am now partaking on signing on chain as more transactions come in. So if I refresh, you can see that my commission is increasing, my rewards. Yeah. So if I'm going to do a recap on all the commands that we used in setting up the validator so far. The first thing was that we first initialized our node. And I said earlier, I'm going to be sharing the handbook. So the first thing is we initialize the node, then we try to get the latest block that the blockchain is currently deciding on at the moment. Then went ahead to sync our node. Then after that, we then configured our config.toml file. Then we set our RPC servers to the mainnet one. Then we started our node where we now face that little challenge when we're trying to sync with the node. And then there comes the tendermint command if you are having any issues in syncing properly. Then the next thing will be to generate a wallet and import your mnemonic to a Cosmos enabled wallet, then add some Saf token for signing. Then the next thing will be to check your balance, confirm it has been added. Then the next thing will be to now get your consensus public key. To do that, again, you need this command. Commit show validator. This gives you your consensus key. And this is now going to now be the beginning of where you start going about your validator. After you have had a consensus key, then you now set up your validator.json. This way, you're going to be setting things like your amount, your Monica identity, your website, then the commission rates, commission max rates, and the rest. Then you then broadcast the validator to go live. And there's another forward step after this one. It's called the setting up a sentry node. That is for a standard production validator. That's a very, very vital step because how validators work is that if I keep my validator as it is currently on the chain, what's going to be happening is that anybody that is using or signing with my node is currently seeing my IP address of my server. And that can be very prone to many attacks like DDoS and rest of those kind of attacks. But with the help of Sentry, it helps to shield the IP address so that it is protected and not being attacked by an attacker. Yeah. So I've also shared some information about that in the handbook. Yeah. So now I'm going to be open for any questions that anyone may have. Thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any questions for me, or was it that too technical? Okay, since let me check again if there are questions. Well, I hand over to Dan. Okay, I would like to hand over to my co-host Dan, so he can just give us like some little words on security side, the Sentry node, and all of that.
Hi Sam, thank you very much for this nice presentation, and I can see that everything is working perfectly. The secret behind the Sentry node is just a level of security, as you've just mentioned. So the Sentry gives you a way of hiding your real node and keep showing only providing or showing another IP which is not the main validator. This is mostly for security purpose. So you expose the first server, but your server is communicating only internally with the public server. So we call it a public server and block producing node. Like you protect the validator itself, the validator server, and you keep showing and communicating with other validators using the Sentry node. That's the only and actually the best practice, but you can still protect your validator and hide your IP using a very good configuration. But if you want to have a high level of security, you may need to actually set up the Sentry. But again, if you set up a Sentry node, you need to have two servers, so it's quite expensive. I recommend you can bypass, you can directly use the real node as a validator, but you really need to secure the node itself, hiding the IP, protecting port, and having never use, for example, root user, stuff like that. So yeah, you can protect the node and still use one server as a validator instead of using the two validator, the Sentry node. And for example, I can say if you are a team or a very big company, you really need to have the Sentry because your IP may be public, might be used by many people. So make sure to use the Sentry. But since you are just a validator, you don't have a lot of money, you just need to run a node. You can still keep one and secure it very well. Never use, for example, root user, never log with username and password, for example. You can still keep connecting using SSH key and hiding IP, routing public endpoint and URLs. Yeah, it's still possible to keep to use one server and be secure. Thank you. Yeah, back to you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you so much. It's fine.
Thank you very much, Dan, for this explanation, and mostly Sam for the details explanation. The call was supposed to end at 11 p.m., but we still have some time, so I suppose it was it was more perfect than what we were thinking about. So is there anyone? Does anyone have a question? Please, it's now time to ask. You can just raise your hand. Or if you can't raise your hand, you can write in the chat. And remember, we are bilingual, so you can still also ask in French. Yes, Dan? Dan, I can see your hand raised.
Yeah. So it's not a question, but the next step. I don't know. I was quite late, but I don't know if you talk about the next step. The next step is maintaining the node. Once you have the validator, it's not leaving it like you don't just have a node and like close your server and go keep it like that. You need to maintain it. You need to check your validator because sometimes you can miss some block and go in jail. You need to monitor, like to make sure that you are not missing any block, and make sure you have a high level of uptime. So setting a validator is the first step, the principal one, but maintain it is the best way of keeping your node like up and producing block. Yes, Sam, I don't know if the question will be mine or to Sam.
Yeah, I would take.
Yes, Sami, I can see your hand raised.
Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for the floor. I'm so exciting and very happy to be part of this meeting, and I know that the meeting is will be recorded, but I have some questions about there's sometimes I saw mainnet versus testnet. Till now I didn't figure out what's the meaning of mainnet and testnet. And another thing was about the validator. Can you kindly try to explain me? Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if Sam is still there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can still answer the question. So the difference between mainnet and testnet is just very simple. Testnet is a testing node, so it allows the community to test the node before going in a real node in real activities like real mainnet node. So for testnet, the purpose of testnet is just to allow you to test all features. When, for example, you are building your app, you may need to test some transactions to test some features. So you just don't directly deploy your app or your software directly in mainnet. Since you will have a lot of testing activities, a lot of transactions to make sure that your platform is working perfectly. So the testnet is a real copy of the mainnet. Most of time, the testnets with even the node itself, we start building the testnet, the future in the testnet, testing if it works very well, and then we deploy the mainnet. We can upgrade the mainnet. So you can see the testnet is just a test environment, and the mainnet is a real environment where we have real money, real assets, real tokens. So yeah, I think that's the difference between testnet and mainnet.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, coach. So there's the second question about the validator.
Oh, okay. Let me take that one. So you can like picture a blockchain as a shared notebook. I'm trying to give like a mental model of how it works. So picture it as if you have like you could picture like the blockchain as a shared notebook with thousands of people writing continuously inside that notebook. And every transaction, every transfer, and every balance change as a transfer in that notebook remains like unchanged. So for the notebook to be trustworthy, someone needs to check every page before it gets added. So if you want to add a new transaction to the notebook, you have to first check. So Validator is like a computer, and it's just like a person checking those books. So you have like 700, 800 people checking one notebook, and each of everyone is keeping the same copy of that book and each transaction to make sure that it is not being tampered with. That's the main goal. The main goal is to make sure that it's not being tampered with and it contains every single transaction, every single change. Yeah. So instead of one bank or one company controlling that notebook, it's being controlled by a lot of banks, a lot of companies. So that's why I'm running a node here. Someone in Kenya is running a node, another person in South Africa is running a node, and we all have the same copy of that same notebook, which is the blockchain. That is what a validator is. I don't know if that's answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Thanks indeed, Coach. But I'm sorry. There are many questions that I have. I think there's another third question. I don't know if you'll allow me to ask it also.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. It's about the next session. I'd like to know when the next session will take place also, because for us we still kids, and I'd like to understand more.
Yeah. So for the next session, the ticket is still okay.
Yes, I was just trying to add some, if you allow me.
Yeah, please.
So Sami, the next session will depend on how we will like get the issues from the community. So this was only first about building the community. Then after sharing the resources, the notes Sam had, and the uploading the video on YouTube, from that we can know what's the next issue of the community, and then plan for another session and share it with everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. Then it means there is a group on social media where you'll be sending all the notes and videos about YouTube. Is there another channel where we can find all of notes?
For the YouTube video, it's only for the video, it's only on YouTube. So we do share the link in the Telegram group and on Discord server.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Any other question? I think no, since I didn't see any hand raised. So we are gonna have to end today's session. Thank you very much, Sam, for all the explanations, and Dan for adding some points on what Sam was saying, and especially any other community member who gave some explanation in the chat. I was seeing them. Please remember, if you have any question, you can still ask in Discord. You can still DM Sam or Dan, especially Sam, and you'll have your answers. Thank you and good evening, everyone. Yes, of course, Mishak, the Discord link. You can just put it in the chat.
Yeah, but we are still waiting for the handover as promised. Some promised to send it at the end of the session. I don't
Sorry?
know. Some
The
promised
link.
to. Yeah.
Okay, let me put it in the chat. The link to the doc. By the way, you'll also find it on YouTube on the description of the video. We will put it there, but it's already in the chat. All right. Thank you, everyone. You can start leaving the call. I'll wait to see if everyone has what he needs. Yes, Aliyu, I can see your question. No, you don't need to have a team. You can operate your Safrochain validator as an individual. And remember, you still have the support of Safrochain. Bye-bye, guys. Why are you still in the call?